Hello, my friends. Jacob is here once again. Happy Tuesday to you. Trying to be really excited for this show, but I think it's one of those things that we need to talk about seriously for a minute. You know, like we need to soak all this that I'm about to share with you in. This is my novel, The Calling. And no, this is not a promotion of the book. It's just that this was more confirmation that the video that you're about to see, it was kind of like planted in my heart many, many, many years ago, like well over a decade ago. I started my book. There was a sign in heaven above my house, actually, in 2003. Mars was closer to the Earth than it had been in 6,000 years or something like that. It was something crazy, but it was like a bright orange star in the sky. And so when I was putting this show together with all of these planets lining up and everything else, and I saw that title from space.com that said, I immediately knew that the first chapter of my book that I wrote about, 2003, that event that took place in the sky, I was writing about actually my daughter being born, and the lead character, Thomas, it's his story, but my daughter, Shyla, was born September 11th, 2003. I just knew something was coming. I didn't know when. I was living in Texas at the time. I was working for this major Christian network, right? But I knew that there was more. And I actually wrote about how this sign was a thing that was going to help us see that in the future, it was all going to come together and we'd be delivered from it all. I'm going to read some of this to you. September 10th. Mars hangs closer to the Earth than it has in 6,000 years. That's it right there. I was talking about that. It's huge. It appears as a bright orange star in the sky, like the light that led men to the east. And here we have it happening once again, some 15 years later, September 10th. Mars hangs closer to the Earth than it has in 6,000 years. It appears as a bright orange star in the sky. Like the light that led men from the east to a child in a manger, it could well be a sign of things to come. I hope you're all buckled up. As I had said from that Revelation 12 sign, September 23rd, 2017, that something was planted within us and that it was going to take some time to be birthed. There's a second part of that story in Revelation. It's about the great red dragon that comes for that child, that potential that's within us all. That's the day that we're in. And you're going to see how it all works together. And the signs are all there. So I hope you are buckled up, people, because this show is the one that we've been waiting for.
red devil always appears in a cartoon, just starts whispering. Just starts getting that cartoon character. You should do this. You should do that. Yeah, do that. Yeah, no, that's not the right thing. That person you can't like. That person. Yeah, there's a reason why this is going on right now. There's a reason for it. Yeah. These are the bad people. Those are the bad people. Yeah. I don't care what happens to the bad people because bad people are the bad people. And it doesn't matter because right now, there's two sets of people right now that are listening to me. And one of you think I'm talking about one side, one bad people. And the other, you think I'm talking about the other bad people. The bad people. Got that little devil whispering in our ear. Brainwashing everybody. And where is it coming from, right? Where is it coming from? Where's this division coming from? Come from the same place that I've been saying it's coming from for a while. The television, your phone, your tablet, your radio, everywhere. There's a reason the devil is called the prince of the power of the airwaves, right? All that stuff, all that nonsense that we're thinking all the time. The same nonsense that got two groups of people to physically attack each other like two armies just recently in Portland. Even my buddy Breydons sends me, I'm doing this show, right? And I'm working on a couple of different things. I'm working on stuff because astronomically speaking, in the skies, in the heavens above, because you know that there, for thousands of years, the stars have told out the story of what happens down here. And right now the stars are telling a pretty spooky story. I talked about the stars telling a story back on September 23rd, 2017. Well, a couple of years before that day where I had said that there's going to be this thing that's birthed in the world and it's going to start within us. And it's not going to be a big deal because, when you first get pregnant with something, when you're pregnant with possibility, usually it takes a little bit of time for that to manifest, usually about 9-10 months or so, right? And that's the day that we're entering into. About 10 months exactly would be this huge, longest eclipse of the moon, this blood moon, the biggest one for like a gabillion years or something, right? That sounds better than like a century, but the biggest and the longest one, man. And you got to understand what the moon represents. And basically, what's happening is the moon is being, for the first time, for the longest time, it's being covered. It's no longer reflecting the light of the sun. It's no longer reflecting the light of the sun. Now, for the longest time ever, are you hearing what I'm throwing down, people? You getting what I'm saying here? It's all tied together. But you remember that cartoon? You got that little devil whispering in your ear, whispering, because we all have it, right? How many times do I tell you to take your thoughts captive? That's what Jesus said all the time. He's like, you want to know how to win? You want to how to live and be free in life? Take your thoughts captive. I tell my children this all the time. No, when I talk to him, he's my oldest, and I tell him all the time. I said, buddy, you gotta always control your emotions. You can't let your emotions control you because ultimately you're in control of everything that is you in the world. And you got this force in your ear and in your eyes and in your head and everywhere right now as the internet of all things comes together, getting you to live in a time that is darker than ever before. So dark that one of the big box offices is this movie, The Purge. Which is, coincidentally, right? Coming out. See this, by the way, when I do this is a, automatically when I start talking about this, I protect my heart. I protect my heart. I feel almost, that these movies and this conditioning and this programming and this brainwashing and this horrible, I mean, like all of our children are just dialed in to nonstop, just, attacking each other, killing each other, shooting each other down. And it's the way the world is today. So divided. So divided, because in all of our ears and our eyes, on our tablets and our phones and everything else, we're being told to hate each other. Great little video going around, by the way, I just found on the internet, little viral video about this QAnon. And if you can not take a side and you can watch that and understand the principle of it and the concept of it, because I do believe that we're entering a time when, the light right now is going to conquer the darkness. But you see, when you look at that video, as much as I want to see the right thing happen, it still pits people against people. And if you know anything about faith, you understand that, especially in the Christian faith, for those of you who are Christian, you're supposed to love your enemy. You're supposed to forgive them that hurt you. You're supposed to give to those who take from you. And you see what I'm saying? Because this world is a fallen world. This is not the world that we think it is. It is a place of death. We're physically dying. But the best part about all that is that who you and I are is much greater than just this. Not just this physical form. We are, in Scripture, God's name. When God had told Moses, go to Pharaoh. Because what happened was Israel was a slave to Egypt. They didn't even know it. Ironically, Pharaoh means, shame. And isn't that interesting? Shame. They were ruled by their shame, okay? Egypt meant entrenchment and siege. It's an interesting thing, because here Israel is a picture of the child of God. All of us, the children of God, the lights of the world that have been snuffed out. Because there's a scripture that says we're all crucified with Christ. That's basically what happened. And see, the day that we're in, I was talking about the third day in my last video, is a day where we wake up. It's a day where the light manifests. We're coming on. Remember I said it's going to take about 9 to 10 months before you really started to see that pressure that I was talking about, everything getting so claustrophobic, but at the very same time, light shining like never before. How much corruption has been revealed and how much is still to be revealed. The day that we're in is a really interesting one, but you can't listen to that devil on your shoulder. You got to stop listening to it. You got to stop believing that you have an enemy in this world that is a different color than you, that is a different race than you, that is a different belief than you. Keeping people divided. What are the principles? Where, people said to Jesus, because a lot of times people say that about me too. Like, oh, you don't know nothing about God and the Lord and the blah, blah, blah. And they attack me because I try to bring life to these stories that we've heard and show you that there is a spiritual application that needs to be implemented today, especially because this is actually all our story and we're the center of it. It's the one thing that you and I have in common. We are the beginning and the end of our life. And God, that spirit that is in everything, that is everything, whatever you want to call it that little wave of infinite possibility that we all are. That ocean that everything exists in and has its existence in. We are but a drop of potential, infinite potential. And the powers that be understand this, which is why they have controlled us for so long. And that's why all of this darkness that we keep hearing about, all of this nonsense that we're being fed, like this horrible riot. I'm not even going to show you the footage. It's funny, YouTube is working very hard. Well, I wouldn't even want to say YouTube. I'm not even going to say that, because ultimately I believe, this is what I say all the time when I upload a video and then all of a sudden I lose 50 subscribers, but yet I have maybe 1 or 2 dislikes on a video, right? Or a video where I'm just talking about just demonetized, buried. And I understand that. But I don't know if you catch these comments when I try to respond back to you. I throw it out there. I said, don't they understand that what's going on here is bigger than just you and me? It's bigger than being censored. All these other channels, all these channels that you're gonna yell and they're gonna scream and they're gonna talk about hate and they're gonna get you all riled up. Part of the system too. You know what the shill is? The shill is somebody who gets on here and wants to get something out of you that doesn't have a motive in that person's heart to actually make things better. You see, when I share to you, which is why it's beautiful almost that, my goodness, I'm making no money right now on YouTube because of it doesn't even matter. I thought it was a blessing when my channel took off like that and it went from 500 subscribers to 90,000, and I've been stuck at 90,000 down at 99,000, just hovering for how long? Over a year and a half, right? While other channels double, triple in growth. And I understand that it's not like the system. I am here for a reason. Where I'm supposed to be to learn my lesson. Where you are is where you're meant to be to learn your lesson. You can sit there and say everybody's out to get you, and you can point your finger and blame this person or that person. You can continue to be brainwashed by the system and call yourself a truther, or you can understand that you're given a moment and a purpose and a hope and a direction and a path that all that negativity brought you to. This moment right now, this path that you're on right now, you're here with me for a reason. You think you're down, you think that you're suffering, you think that you can never get ahead, you think you're not gonna make the bills, you get all worried, I don't know what I'm gonna do because I'm just not making the money I used to. Used to have those fears, still have them now and then. But that's not operating in faith, and with faith all things are possible. You're supposed to have joy, you're supposed to have life. This movie, The Purge, that's coming out, and I believe it's on July 4th. Let me tell you something about this, okay? Right off the bat, even its campaign-style teaser trailer about making America great again. Did you get that? The first purge. This movie's about the first purge. It's about civil war. We've been led up to it, right? Talk about Handmaid's Tale. I've been talking about this all along, right? You watch that riot that just took place, and that looks just like the first couple of episodes of Handmaid's Tale. There was a time a year and a half ago where I would be like, Civil War is coming, Civil War is coming. I got a bunch of those videos out because I saw such division and I knew that it was going there. But then along the way, I said, you know what? Wait a minute. Do you really have faith? Do you really believe that all things are possible with faith? Well, then why don't you put it to practice? Why don't you stop talking about World War III and start talking about peace? And then all of a sudden, what happens? Start hearing about North Korea. Am I saying that I brought that up? Why can't that even be a possibility? Because we've been told that it's not a possibility, and that's the lie. And instead, we've been whispered to, manipulated, brainwashed, told to hate, like the devil. The first purge is coming, July 4th. And around the same time, right, while you have all that going down, you got the longest eclipse ever, right? In the last, I don't know how many years. And what is that telling you? It's telling you that it's time to take your light from under that bushel of nonsense and lies and baloney that you've been living under. It's time to stop pointing the finger at other people and hating them and saying that they are the reason I'm upset, because they are not. This whole thing, I was telling you about that video earlier because it stated so beautifully, but I just wish it wasn't about one side against another. Because really, all of us, we all have the possibility. We're all part of the same cloth, but yet, if you're ignorant and you're cut off from it because you don't understand it, then you are then, just like Jesus said to all the religious, to all the jerks, to all the meatheads, to all the people that were condemning and rebelling and stealing and robbing and pointing fingers at who's right and who's wrong. And he said, what are they? The children of the devil. That's what you are. A little thing whispering on you. your shoulder. You become the child of that. This whole religious system is a child of that. I became the head writer, the top guy in the largest Christian network in the world. And they're selling miracle oil now. Yeah, that's right. Oh, you should do it. Rub it on your dryer when it goes, and then go to Home Depot and get 24 months interest-free financing like I did. And then of course get the washer too, because the washer you've had for I don't know how many years is gone. But you rub a little miracle oil, right? This religious system, such a joke. And I gotta worry, right? I gotta worry. Like I said for many years, how could I possibly? I don't have the finances. I don't have the influence. I don't have the power. I came from nothing. How can I possibly? I'll tell you how. Because I had faith. And because I followed that dream in my heart and that desire in my heart, that when I see movies like the first Purge coming out, and I see it all happening at the exact same time, when we see all of these astronomical events taking place, at the exact same time where we see volcano after volcano blowing up, at the exact same time where we see the division in the House over immigration and the children being taken away, right? Or being brought together. You see, it's all about fight and hate. Bad guy, bad guy, bad guy, bad guy. Bad girl, bad girl, bad girl, bad whatever you choose to be. This blood moon that's happening. All of this is taking place about 9-10 months. 9-10 months from September 23rd. And I had said that, it takes a little while for that happened in the heavens to be birthed in here. And now I'm telling you, I don't know if you feel it. It's already here. It's already being birthed. It's already being birthed in your lives. I get your emails. I get your comments. I know things are getting better, while they even seem in the world like they are getting worse. I'm not going to get sucked into that nonsense anymore, because it doesn't really matter whether or not I do. In the grand scheme of things, I know where I'm going, and I know what I'm supposed to do. And I know that the things that I'm telling you right now, that there is more, that love is the key, that forgiveness is the key, and that the only reason things aren't going right in your life is because you have none of that love that I'm talking about. And I'm not talking you're a good person, I'm talking about the love where you can love somebody unconditionally, like your children. People don't even know how to love their children unconditionally today. It's because we have been sold into the servitude of ignorance and fear and hate and bigotry and pride. But those days, as I've been saying for a while, have come to an end. So, don't listen to the nonsense anymore. Don't point your finger anymore. But do show love to others. Do understand that the people around you, they don't decide what your life is going to be. That spirit within you, once you line up to the good of everything and everyone, because we are connected to everything and everyone, then this world will know peace like it's never known. It's going to get crazier. Yes. But, as I've been talking about the third day, get ready. You see, I'm kind of here. I always felt like I was kind of like, when this started to happen and when I started to come on out here and when my channel started to get a little bigger, and I believe, the next is that my novel's going to become a bestseller, and then it becomes a major motion picture, and that's going to happen within the next 3 years. That's what you can tell me I'm wrong, whatever. People told me I was wrong about a lot of other things. Just like when I was a spy in Rahab's house and I was smack dab in the middle of religion. It's the top writer there and producer there. And I got to tell them all. It was interesting because the floor of their the studio, their TV studio, I was produced there, it was always cracked. And instead of, going down and breaking up that foundation and pouring a new one, they just continued to cover it up, gloss it up. It costs a lot of money, and it had to be done because we had to shut the studio down. One day I said one of these devotions, which, by the way, at one point in time, they were then canceled. It was like, not a good use of time to be getting together, praying for each other, stuff like that. It's interesting, right? smack dab in the middle of it all. I love that. I'm so grateful for it. And these are good people too, but when you got that devil whispering in your ear, you got to break up the foundation, I said, because it's broken. And all you're doing in your religious TV and all your nonsense. That's why all the skeletons start to come out of the closet all around. Right now, I actually hear that they're now being taxed. That's right, for parking spaces. Isn't that interesting? And you'll be told that that is somehow an attack on our faith or whatever else. But you can't say that because you'll also say at the same time that you're a Trump supporter or you're this. I mean, it's like it's ridiculous if you think that man is in control of any of this. So you should line up with what's in control and understand that you can take the reins of this. You can be like Neo in the Matrix. You can turn this thing around. So while the first purge is coming out on Independence Day, I say happy Independence Day and happy 4th of July to you. And remember that baby, that truth that I've been talking about, that Christ in you, that hope of glory that's in you, that dream that I keep saying, hey you, I wrote on Twitter, hey you, that's right, I'm talking to you. He who endures until the end overcomes, not those who give up. It's time to buckle up, people. What do you think? I've been saying that for so long? You're going to hear it a lot more, too. You're going to hear a lot more people saying it, too. It's time to get secure and become established in the truth of who you are. So start seeking it. I love each and every one of you, and I will talk to you soon. Be good. Don't forget to give somebody a hug today and try it out. Try out what I'm saying. Try unconditionally loving somebody and see where that gets you. Talk to you soon.